The hour of 9:45 having arrived, I'd like to call the Kane County Board meeting for June 13, 2017 to order. Thank you everyone for coming today. I'd like to ask the clerk to call the roll.
Allen.
Present.
Auger.
Here.
Guerrero.
Here.
Dahl.
Here.
Davis.
Here.
Franz.
Here.
Gillum.
Here.
Hernandez.
Here.
Poshek.
Here.
Ishmael.
Here.
Kenyon.
Here.
Zerek.
Here.
Leonard.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Molina.
Present.
Sanchez.
Here.
Jeffro.
Here.
Silva.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Sterrett.
Present.
Thomas. Wegman.
Here.
Winicki.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. For the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to ask Kane County Connects interns Annabelle Singstock and Elizabeth Kramer to come to the microphone to lead us in prayer, or in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, if you would remain standing. For the prayer this morning, I'd like to ask Sylvia Wetzel, our new Executive Director of Human Resources Management, to come to the microphone and lead us in prayer.
May we all join in prayer. God our Father, we give thanks for this day and everything that has brought us here. As we gather for this meeting, may we be guided by your love and heartfelt presence. Father, open our minds and our hearts so that we may hear and know the ways of your wisdom. Give us the courage to do the right things and the spirit to offer hope to others. Lift our hearts with gratitude and appreciation for the gift of life, one another, our community, and those we love. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
The approval of the minutes, may I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from May 9, 2017 meeting, so moved by Ms. Sterrett, second by Mr. Pizarro. Are there any adjustments, comments, corrections? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Before we go into our presentations, I would like the board and our audience to wish one of our finest board members a happy birthday today. So it's Kurt Kozar's birthday, if I am not mistaken. It's so good. Would you stand up, please? Nothing like embarrassing the kids. So, happy birthday many more. Let's see, presentation discussion. We have a distinguished budget presentation award. Rita Cruz, Illinois Government Finance Officers Association. I'd like to invite Ms. Cruz from that organization, and Finance Committee Chairman John Hochscheid, and Finance Executive Director Joe Anse. I'll get this right. And then Assistant Finance Director Erica Wagner to come forward for the presentation. So Joe and John, Ms. Cruz. And that's not Erica. Oops. Maybe.
Right here.
Good morning. The Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada presents the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award to Kane County, Illinois, for its annual budget for fiscal year 2017. In order to receive this award, a governmental unit must publish a budget document that meets program criteria as a policy document, as a financial plan document, as an operations document, and as a communications device. This award presents a significant achievement by your organization and indicates that your document has been reviewed and rated favorably by an expert panel of independent budgeting professionals. Accepting this award on our behalf On the behalf of the Finance Department is Senior Staff Accountant and Financial Analyst Amy Raymer Holmes. Amy and the Finance Department staff have continued to make improvements to the budget document each year in an effort to provide Kane County citizens with the most comprehensive information possible. This is the second year that Kane County has received this award. Congratulations on behalf of the GFOA for this significant achievement.
Thank you. On behalf of the Finance Department, I'd like to say thank you. This book is definitely a culmination of a lot of hard work and collaboration of not just all of the county departments, but also the county board. Thank you for your diligent work and support. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all of the teamwork.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the Chairman Short Program. I'm just going to take a moment today. One of the things that we are challenged with currently is making sure that we live within our boundaries, budget, as far as the budget. And we have some catching up to do on some of the bookkeeping and the allocations of funds that come in, basically fees. And I came across something that I think board members in our audience might find interesting in our Kane County Circuit Clerk's financial statement done by the independent auditors for November 30th, 2016. If anybody thinks that this is kind of an easy thing to do, all you have to go do is go to pages 7 and 8, and you see all the different funds that the fees and the dollars that come in are allocated to. And it's like 2 pages of very small print. And you can imagine, any system that has that kind of complexity, and we have to do it right. So very difficult, but we're in the process of getting that caught up. So anybody who wants to take a look at really how complex that is, it's a perfect illustration on pages 7 and 8. So I believe that the board thanks the entire group of the Circuit Clerk's Office, the support team from IT, and the whole board in support of that effort. So now, as far as next on the agenda, speakers on agenda items, we just have folks who are potential speakers on zoning items. So we'll go next to the zoning petitions, and I believe that there are 4 today. So I'd like to ask Development Committee Chairman and birthday boy, to discuss and make a motion to approve each of the zoning petitions on today's agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you check are there any additional people signed in? No. Okay, then we'll move to our first petition, 4416. We do have several speakers. I would like to make sure that we have enough time for all of them to say their piece. But I'd like to make a motion at this time to limit discussion from 4 minutes per person to 3 minutes per person to accommodate that motion made.
So moved by Mr. Kazar, second by Ms. Barrett. Mr. Kazar. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so, and this is on the first petition?
It's for all petitions.
Oh, I see. I'm so sorry. Got distracted for a moment. Okay, so all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our first speaker is the petitioner, Michael Kowalczyk. Mr. Kowalczyk, you have the floor for 3 minutes.
How you guys doing today? Thank you this morning for meeting with us. And can I pass the information up?
And may I ask, Mr. Kowalczyk, may I ask you to come to the microphone and speak into the microphone because we want to be able to hear what you're saying.
Sure. Okay. We reside in the Willow Creek area. I'm sure everybody has known about the chicken issue. In the Willow Creek area, it was proposed in 78 and 79. The entire 65 acres was zoned a PUD. The Willow Creek, which is the first edition, which if you, on the map where I reside, was built. Our home was moved there from the same area, which was F1. It was owned by Robert Olson, Frank Olson's brother, I believe. And that home, John Wickman lived in while he was building some of the houses. That house has become a burden on Willow Creek residents since the conception of Willow Creek. I have learned that in zoning meetings on Wednesday night. Some of the members showed up. They said the house did not belong there, nor did the people. Later on, through the Freedom of Information, I received plenty of documents stating the Willow Creek area never should have been built with much opposition of Nottingham Woods, the Highway Department, Department of Ag, and soil testing companies. The percolating properties of the soil for septic fields and such was horrible and was recommended not to be built. Needless to say, John Wickman went ahead with the building. Many of the residents that purchased these homes with the idea that there was going to be a 3,000 minimum square foot estates later on learned that homes in the next tract were being built of 2,200 square foot, 2,800 square foot, and one house was being built on less than an acre. According to John Wickman's plans, that house would encompass the street in order to be an acre. Therefore, in order to build those homes, he had to amend the PUD amendment and continue with the building. That allowed residents who had larger lots than 1 acre sublet and sell to other homeowners who could build. Don Wickman then abandoned the project. The project was picked up later on in '87 by the Record Corporation. He too had his company dissolved involuntarily by the state. The public open spaces, which you look around there, called golf courses, ponds, and recreation areas and forest preserves, where Unit 9 and Unit 8 were donated, eventually were built on. The golf course was also donated to people as well, private parties. None of the amenities that Willow Creek were supposed to have ever existed. There's no public space, there's no off-street parking to enjoy the parks. Because we don't have parks. Thank you. According to the 14th Amendment of the Constitution and the Fair and Equal Act,
No sidewalks, no streetlights.
we are seeking the zoning of the middle tract, which is currently R1 non-PUD, which Don Wickman implemented on the area. The Fairness Act also states that you cannot deny another area that is similar. Where similar, we do not conform like the other homes in Willow Creek. We are 1,500 square foot. Our house was supposed to be torn down, I found out afterwards, many of them. We're 1.3 acres. The covenant says that down here, I'm sorry?
You have reached.
Well, the covenants are expired at 30 years after.
Your wife has also signed up for 3 minutes, so at this time, if she would like to speak or if she'd like to defer her time to you, we'll allow that.
I apologize, not to be rude. My attorney did say though, because we are pro se, the one we were using counsel, I could get a little more leeway time to
I've
explain.
already
this.
gone a little bit over, and like I said, I'm giving you the option of allowing your wife to defer her time.
Well, thank you. I would like to add though, 14th Amendment, just please remember that when you guys are voting on this, that our rights will be infringed under the 14th Amendment if you deny us this variance, which we found out we don't even need to apply for.
To add to that, Timothy P. Dwyer, our attorney, is the one that stated, as a matter of law, zoning of owner property due to the covenants is expiring, we are reverted back to F1 in 2013, as the covenants do state they expire 30 years after the date of zoning. Technically, we were never needed this variance. Technically, we got rid of animals we should never have had to get rid of. We have had no complaints from the county board. We have no nuisance, manure file. Anything that was filed was only filed by one family, the Ramondis. It was all cleared by everyone, not any animals escaping, no proof of nothing. The only evidence Ramondi has is the evidence he speaks from his mouth. I am going to rebut. I do have a letter from Garfield Farm. It was submitted that I do volunteer, in fact, for Garfield Farms when they stated that I do not. Gloria, I would love to ask you one question. When you came to our house for the article, did you smell any foul odor?
This is no.
Okay, well, it was stated by her, she smelled no foul odor. And here, we have a paper from you as well off of one of the code violation things. Over the past several weeks, Kane County Building Inspector Spencer Cronin has had a series of conversations with both Ramondis and the Kowalczyks related to the long history of complaints back and forth between the two residents in this neighborhood in an effort to foster a sense of mutual toleration. It was asked of each of them what would it take on the other's part to end this conflict. Now, this is a year ago. It was stated that if we would just get rid of the roosters, he would be satisfied. That's all I can say because our neighbor is obviously not satisfied. And I asked the fence to rebut Peggy, a letter she submitted to rebut Peggy and Kane's letter about fencing in the area. The fact is, we submitted the evidence. There is 27 properties out of 59 homes in our area that already have fenced-in yards. Also, on the petition Robert Ramondi submitted about people not wanting having animals, 3 out of the 9 petitioners are already zoned R1. 2 of the petitioners do not live in Willow Creek nor have in 2 years. And the 6 other petitioners are from phases 1 and 3 of Willow Creek, of which both do have chickens. So that's, I guess, the end of my rebuttal. Did you have something to say?
Just pass a piece of paper.
Okay, I was like, I thought you laughed at me. I'm like, okay, I've had enough. But yeah, we just technically, this is all ridiculous.
Thank you for your statements. The next speaker signed up is Robert Ramondi.
Good morning, I'm Robert Ramondi, the neighbor. You all have a pass out that I gave out this morning. I'm going to run through them really quick. The first 2 items on the first 2 pages are the original covenants Don Wickman created for the subdivision, letting people know what type of subdivision it was supposed to be and the overall intent. The next 3 pages are the petition that I took around to the neighborhood. I only went to the original portions of the neighborhood. I did not go to the new side. I stuck all basically to there. The people that signed, out of the 22 houses I went to, I have 18 signatures that were against it. The other ones I could not, either they weren't home or I did not get any signatures. The next page with the pink on it is the map of the subdivision of the houses that I did go to. And it shows the ones that were against. The ones with the NC were no contact. Those are the ones I wasn't able to speak with. The next page is a letter from Baird and Warner confirming the hit we would take on our property if we tried to sell it with the conditions we have next door to us with the animals. The next one's a Google map that shows our end of the subdivision. It shows the open spaces of all the lots and everything else. The Kowalczyk's house is the very first one on the upper right-hand corner, right as you come into the subdivision. Ours is the one right next to it with the little bubble above it. The next picture, the picture across our backyard. The next picture is another picture across our backyard. Then our front yard. The house to the south of us, directly across the street. The house directly to the west of us. The entry sign on the south side of the street as you pull into our subdivision. And then on the opposite side of the street, which would be the Kowalczyk's property, the same sign, which you can't even find it. And then The next picture is the front of their house from the early spring before the leaves started coming out. Again, the next picture is just the other direction. The next picture is what he did to the fence when he got told he had to get rid of the animals last year. He did that overnight. And the last photo is what it looks like from our deck off of our bedroom, looking across their backyard at the pens. So that's what their pens look like in their backyard right now. And that picture was taken in March. They have, the past 2 weeks, done a tremendous amount of cleaning and trying to make the yard look prettier. They put some sod down and whatnot, but only from the white fence and the little space in that area. Otherwise, the pens and everything else still look the same. The last page are the different animal incidents we've had since they've had the animals. We had a turkey get loose, ran across my son's car hood, did $800 worth of damage. I saw him do it, but he refused to pay, said, prove it. I got a police report. Pig got loose twice, ate a large quantity of bulbs during a garden walk. Animal control came and had removed the pig. They did get rid of the pig eventually.
Mr. Lamont, your 3 minutes is drawing to a close.
That's-
Agree with your comments?
Nope, I'm fine, that's okay. I mean, you can read the rest of them yourselves. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker, can you remind me?
Good morning, everybody. Okay, point of this hearing has been twisted and turned into a social media circus by the Kowalczyks to sidestep the facts and hide the truth. All we want is to keep the continuity of the subdivision by upholding the PUD. Various articles and websites have appeared with misinformation regarding their lot size, conveniently expanding it from 1.2 acres to as much as 1.3 acres. In actuality, their lot is platted in the county records as only 0.91 acres. Willow Creek subdivision has always been zoned as a PUD and will continue to be a PUD, covenants notwithstanding. Although the covenants expired in 2013, the Kowalczyks were in violation when they started acquiring livestock. The chickens and the other fowl first appeared in the summer of 2012. Prior to this, they had 3 large dogs and a cat that would freely roam the neighborhood on a daily basis, in blatant disregard of the county leash laws. The dogs would appear uninvited in backyards, on porches, on decks, and in garages, and at times attempting to enter the house as you opened your door. Our bad, we all should have complained to the appropriate authorities, but nobody wanted to get on their bad side. And look at where all that got us. Other misinformation is in regards to their house. The house was originally on the east side of Route 47 and moved across the road into Lot 7 of the Willow Creek PUD subdivision by Don Wickman as an interim rental for people waiting for the construction on their houses to be completed. The Kowalczyks are the 6th owner of the house since 1985. We purchased our lot, Lot 6, from Don Wickman in 1986, so we are well aware of the history of the previous owners, none of which have had any pets at all. As noted in the documentation presented to this board at the 2 previous board meetings, the Kowalczyks' animals and lack of care has caused numerous problems to our home, property, and lives. We've had to go as far as installing a $1,200 security camera system to prove it, as Mr. Kowalczyk is so fond of saying, whenever we've had an issue with his animals damaging our property, our car, landscaping, etc. This year, we've had to cancel 2 of our charity garden walks due to the harassment to visitors in the past several years. It's hard to sell a home in the Willow Creek subdivision, and to allow a variance for this lot, which is at the entrance, will only increase the difficulty and devalue our houses further. This has nothing to do with personal issues. Whoever owns this lot needs to follow the definition of the PUD like the rest of us. Any zoning change is permanently attached to that lot and should not be altered just to satisfy the Kowalczyks' desire to live on a farm. This request for zoning change has been voted down at each of the previous board meetings due to the facts presented. Our hope is that you here today will deny the request for a variance. We have endured multiple social media attacks against us, including falsehoods and innuendo, posting personal information and photos along with maps and directions to our home, also attacking the other homeowners in the subdivision.
Mr. Lundy, your 3 minutes has expired. Please bring your comments to a close.
We have not responded to any of these posts because that is not who we are, and these are the type of people who are asking for a variance. Thank you.
Take your next speaker, Dennis Earl.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pat Hill. I'm former village president of Caneville, and I'm also owner of Hills Country Store in Caneville. I met Stacy and Mike about a year ago. We shared some perennials. I went over there to dig up some flowers. They were very kind to offer me some because I'm a flower nut. When I went over there, I didn't smell anything. I didn't even know there were chickens there until she said, hey, come and see my chickens and see my goose or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool, because I grew up on a farm. So went out in the back there and I didn't even smell anything. So what I've been reading is that there's like foul smells coming from there. In fact, she even gives me farm fresh eggs, which I love, which are great for you. But I don't understand this massive feud. If it was farmed or if it was zoned R1, I don't understand why it has to change. And if it was there, first of all, I don't understand the animosity. We're all human. We all need to get along. If you have problems with your neighbors, I try to tell my people in my town, go talk to them. Don't call the police on them. Don't call the county on them. Work it out together. And it looks like they've tried to some extent, but I think they need to work a little harder. And I'm requesting that you give them the variance for their animals. I understand it's only a few chickens and a goose or maybe geese. So they're very nice people, and that's what I know. So just thought I'd pass that along to you. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Hill. Our next speaker is Renee Chenor. And I apologize if I mispronounce any names.
Renee Chenor was unable to make it. She's in California on work, so she submitted an email. She told me she submitted an email, so that's all I know on that. I know she's against the PUD, but as far as anything else, I don't want to say anything because...
Duly noted, thank you.
Yeah.
Our next speaker will then be Lindsay Lacoste.
My name is Patrick Kelly. In speaking for Lindsay, he is a professor of fire sciences at the University of Southern Illinois. He couldn't make it here today, but he gave me a letter that I'm going to read in his behalf in regards to rebuttal of the alleged burning of goat carcasses that has appeared in the local newspapers. And it says, I do not have much experience with the burning of goats. I do also have extensive training and personal experience with the burning of deer carcasses as I am an avid hunter. I have also 30 years of experience as a career firefighter paramedic, where I also served as an arson investigator with the South Suburban Fire Department. It's easy to start with how much energy it required to burn a mammal, such as the goat. A mammal's body is mostly made up of water. It takes 2.9 joules, which is equivalent to approximately 22 gallons of gasoline, to fully vaporize a mammal the size of an average goat. Burning a goat outdoors with the temperature change in air circulation requires much more accelerant. A typical commercial crematorium takes about 2 to 3 hours at a temperature of 2,000 degrees to cremate a mammal carcass. Burning a goat carcass in an open backyard fire pit that is alleged is extremely unlikely, with the authorities being summoned to investigate not only the offensive smoke and also the odor that would have been associated with this type of activity. This type of burning would require an excessive amount of accelerant and acres of privacy. The stench could also reach well over 1,500 feet from the source of the burning, and this would be greatly affected by weather conditions. From my own experience as an avid hunter and owner of a farm in southern Illinois, where I learned to treat animal carcasses. To my best and professional opinion, I do not believe this could have possibly taken place in the way that has been stated in the press articles and/or quoted by neighbors. I do not believe Michael Pawlowski had the capacity or the means to burn 2 goat bodies on his property without the authorities being notified, and also many complaints from areas that would require with such a stench that this would have required, and also the amount of accelerant that it would have taken. I'm in support of Michael and Stacy. Here are some photographs of this terrible, offensive property that they have, and you can see it's not an offensive property. I had a similar experience where I reside in Rockford, Illinois, with neighbors moving into a new subdivision right by Rockford Speedway. All of a sudden, in the middle of the night, they wake up and, oh my God, there's so much noise. We have to stop this. The racetrack has been there for 80 years. They move in knowing that this is what's in the area. These people in that area, they moved in, not only that they're saying that it's their neighborhood that's offensive, but they moved into Stacy and Michael's neighborhood. That house has been there for well over 100 years.
You're telling your 3 minutes that are up, if you could bring
So-
your comments to a close.
That's what I have to say about this fiasco.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Our last speaker is Sandy Joseph.
Some of those photographs we were looking at are the piles of this very Monday's yard that caused flooding and other stuff of nature and issues.
We would ask that there be no further comments from the audience. We're taking people as they are signed up.
Good morning, everybody. Sandy Joseph, retired educator, former Kane District 302 board member in the 80s and 90s, 45-year resident of Kane County between Nottingham Woods, and in '89 we moved into Willow Creek. I provided for each of you what I presented at our last meeting, the zoning, with regards to the foul variation to a PUD, and I would like to take this time. These are the questions I hope board members will consider before any changes to PUD to accommodate fowl on less than 1 acre of property in any existing subdivision. How will a potential variation to PUD from livestock to a total of 31 fowls be regulated, monitored, and enforced across the county? What will be the impact on Willow Creek's property values and King County and District 302 services and assessed valuation? In relationship to how will a potential variation to PUD from livestock to fowl be monitored and enforced, I raise these questions for your consideration. 1, has the Kane County Agricultural Committee given an opinion to changing PUD to accommodate 31 fowls on less than 1 acre? Is the county going to create regulations for urban chicken husbandry in relation to, this is very important, the property size? I searched for some evidence and I found James Dryden in Oregon did research on 1 acre of property, and he found that 50 hens without any buildings on the property generated 2.5 tons of manure per acre in a year, and that's 106 pounds of nitrogen, 30 pounds of phosphorus, and 61 pounds of potassium. Quite an odor for 1 acre. And there's also other things that I wrote down there for you to consider, but I want to get to the property and the assessed valuation. Long before the cities and rural subdivisions sprang up in Kane County, Dugan Woods, Blackberry, Marion, Willow Creek, Navy Prairie, Donny Hill Meadows carried the tax basis of larger increased assessed valuation along with the farms for District 302 and Kane County services. Nothing should impact property values right now in such an economy with a slow upturn and recovery. You know, everything is searched on the internet now, and the reputation of Willow Creek subdivision should remain as it always has been. The board also needs to know that the residents of Willow Creek are now experiencing a social media frenzy, with participants making incorrect assumptions about farming and the development history of the subdivision, and the labeling of Willow Creek residents as rich snobs to gain strength for a cause. In response to the Daily Herald's GOAT article, one respondent included a threatening comment about having guns. Subdivision residents have loyally supported District 302, and this change to PUD to accommodate an urban fad would devalue the Willow Creek properties. I respectfully submit. Thank you.
That'll bring public comment to a close. Petition 4416 is located in Blackberry Township. The petitioner is looking to amend a PUD to allow livestock on the property. The 2040 plan calls for rural residential, which is what it is currently, the form that it currently is. Objectives are neighboring and area property owners, which we refer to today. The recommendations from the zoning board was to deny this petition. In the event that the county board votes to approve the petition, that motion should include the following stipulations: that no more than 16 chickens be on the property, that no more than 5 geese be on the property, that no more than 2 ducks be on the property, that the wording of the request be amended from allow livestock to allow fowl. The development committee has actually voted to deny this petition. I will make a motion to deny this petition at this time.
So moved by Mr. Kazark, second by Mr. Fraz.
So we've heard quite a bit today. We've heard a lot leading up to today's vote. I just want to clarify a couple things here. The petitioner has said that he wants to decouple away from the PUD. This PUD, that is not the petition that is before you. That is not what we're voting on. Any homeowner disputes, regardless of what one homeowner thinks of another, is really immaterial. This is a simple zoning issue. One of the speakers that spoke today was very pertinent in his comments that they knew what they were getting into when they moved into the subdivision. Only I don't think he's realized he made the case for the opposition to this petition. The Kowalczyks moved into this subdivision, and they are now asking for forgiveness in violation of the ordinance that they're to be candid to be a follow-up. Sorry, it's my birthday here, but we have no further comments from the public. I think any further disruptions from the crowd might have to have people. Well, anyway. So as I was going again, this is simply the Kowalczyk did move into the subdivision. They are part of that PUD. To ask for forgiveness now and ask us to amend the PUD to allow them to do farming is, in my opinion, a bad move and sets bad precedents for the county. As we've heard before, these are simple zoning aspects. Anyone that would want to have fowl, livestock, and any other different parcel, if it is zoned properly, they're more than welcome to do that. They've also mentioned that moving the home that was previously zoned as an F1 into the community, zoning doesn't apply to the structure itself, it applies to the parcel in which that structure is. So if that farmhouse is moved into a residential community, the farmhouse then takes on the zoning of that residential community on that parcel. It's not the other way around. And that reason I'm in opposition.
Okay, are there other comments from board members? Mr. Fraz.
Thank you. Yes, this is in my district, and I do strongly oppose it. The petitioner has had several years of contentious and confrontational interactions with his neighbors. He's involved the sheriff's office, our development staff, zoning enforcement officers, myself on several occasions. We tried very, very hard to settle this. And again, we're talking over 4 years. In every case, when a verbal agreement was made, it was promptly broken by the petitioner. It made the neighbors' lives extremely stressful and miserable, especially the Romandis, because they're the only adjacent neighbor. They're sliding downhill from the petitioner's house, and every time they walk out their door, they have a tense situation. This is a residential estate type lot. It's not a farm lot. It's in a subdivision that was designed for the estate type properties. It was not intended to be a farm map. There's no point really in continuing a contentious situation that exists due to the actions of the petitioner. This is a simple case of a homeowner, the petitioner wanting to operate a farm map in a residential neighborhood. They can achieve all their goals by moving to a farm zone property, which they should do. I would just strongly oppose this, and I would ask you to agree with the zoning board and the development committee and myself in opposing this petition.
Thank you, Mr. Frost. Are there any other comments, questions? Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One of the reasons I ran for county board was after reading the Kane 2040 plan, and there's a lot of discussion in there about sustainability, looking into the future. Part of that is food security and making sure that our people have food to eat. So we're doing a lot of work on the county side to make that happen. It's a slow process, but I think we're making good progress on that. The other half of food security, though, happens at home, starts at home. And so part of this issue I look at is wall chicks, engaging in that type of lifestyle. And I think the contention here is because they're trying to integrate that so closely to a different kind of lifestyle. We'd rather not have chickens and fowl and things like that. I was at the development committee meeting. I know not everybody's able to make it. I can just tell by the Romanis and the Walshiks, there's a personality clash there. I think these two ways of life could be integrated next door to each other. And I would love to see more people being the vanguard for that kind of integration. Not everywhere in the county, of course, but I think in a place like this, it seems like it would be a good example. Other people in the neighborhood have chickens as well. So it comes down partially to a personality dispute, is what I see. And I'm not going to say how I'm going to go right now, but I would like to see if this does go through, as far as the Baltics being allowed this zoning change, that they do make a little more effort to integrate into the lifestyle of the rest of the community. Some of these pictures were biased one way or the other. Okay, so it's really hard from information we received just this morning to really see what is happening there. I wasn't able to go to the property before this meeting, so unfortunately I can't speak from that experience, but I think definitely some more effort to be made to integrate the two lifestyles. And again, to me, it's a matter of food security in some measure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Other, let's see, I think it was Ms. Wodnicki and then Mr. Smith. Ms. Wodnicki.
Thank you, Chairman Lawson. I'm not 100% clear on how the property is zoned. At one point, they're talking about a PUD. At a second point, it's an R1. And then somewhere, somebody said that it eventually reverted back to an F1. So I'm not real clear on that. If you could clarify, that would be great. And then I no longer sit on development committee, so do we have an ordinance regarding fowl or chickens, and what is that ordinance?
I'll defer to Mr. Kirkhoff to answer the questions you have.
Fine, thank you.
Good morning. So to answer your first question, this is the zoning map of the area. This is the subject parcel. This area was zoned F district farming until, as you heard in some of the comments, a PUD, planning and development, was proposed for Willow Creek. And in this section, this was all platted and zoned through the county board approval process as a planned unit development. In your ordinance that the county board has adopted and amended from time to time since 1937, there are plenty of zoning districts, all of the estate zoning districts, even the R1 zoning district do allow various extent of agricultural uses, and there's regulations pertaining to chickens and other livestock in particular. The zoning ordinance for PUD specifically prohibits agricultural uses unless it specifically is written into the PUD, which is the case with the PUD that this subject parcel is part of. We do have PUDs around the county where the developer wrote into the zoning to allow equestrian uses, for example. but this is not the case. So the PUD ordinance in neighborhoods throughout the county specifically do not allow agriculture unless it's specifically written in. And that's the petitioner's request today, is they would like to add those limited agricultural uses as was listed in the stipulations just on their parcel. And that's the other thing I just wanted to clarify based on some of the comments that were made. Is the matter for consideration for you this morning is just pertaining to this parcel. It does not change or allow any of those agricultural uses on any other lots in the PUD. Some of the confusion in terms of mention of R1 may be because the central portion of the Willow Creek neighborhood, which basically follows Willow Creek Drive, were requested and zoned R1 through the county board process, and then the southern section of the Willow Creek subdivision was again proposed as a PUD and zoned PUD. But just to be clear, the subject parcel, once it was zoned PUD, prior to the house being moved there, or any other homes being constructed, did not allow for any agricultural uses.
Okay, does that answer the good? Ms. Woody?
Yes, thank you. And then, do we have an ordinance regarding chickens at all? County?
We have regulations both in the nuisance and property maintenance ordinance and in the zoning ordinance, depending on the type of zoning that regulate chickens based on lot size and minimum distances from adjacent residences. But in those cases, those don't apply on this parcel because they're not permitted. They're not a permitted use in this PUD.
To further expound, PUD is one of the only, well, one of the types of zoning that specifically prohibits agricultural use unless otherwise stated in their covenants. So I mean, all the different ones they could have chose, they're trying to amend the PUD.
Okay, let's see, it was Mr. Smith next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As a farmer and chairman of the agricultural committee, I look at this as not an agricultural issue, or as Mr. Sanchez says, a personality issue or a cultural issue. This is purely a zoning issue, and that's how we should fix the code.
Okay, Mr. Martin?
Thank you. Some of the comments and some of the questions, I think, lead me to the conclusion that as a group, we might be losing the vision of the forest for the trees. The purpose of zoning is to provide predictability and stability. And this property is not zoned for this purpose. The use that is being sought would be a change in that, and the entitlement of people who buy within a zoning district is that will be maintained and defended. It's that simple. And by saying that I don't like it anymore is effectively amending that district and taking away from people who purchase residences and property in reliance on that.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Are there any other comments? Ms. Gillen?
To address the issue of whether or not the PUD is expired, can you explain that?
Sure, thank you. Yes, there are two apples and oranges. Zoning is approved and enforced by you as a county board. Covenants and restrictions are a private covenant placed on a property, piece of real estate, and enforced by homeowners association or civil legal action. So they're really two different things. So that's not part of the consideration in this action this morning, and I'll refer to the state's attorney if I didn't explain that completely, no.
Each respect. So violation of a covenant or a limitation that is passed by a homeowners association really is a kind of a private right. The homeowners of that subdivision to enforce or not enforce. They can seek to enforce that through penalties imposed by the homeowners association. They can seek to enforce those covenants and restrictions through private legal action through the courts. But zoning is a matter for this body. Mr. Van Kerkhoff's explanation of that is accurate.
Okay, other thoughts or comments? If not, let's see. Well, first of all, I would just like to make it clear to any of the board members. First of all, Any closing comment from the chairman of the development committee?
I just wanted to clarify what the actual vote that we're taking on. A yes vote is a vote to deny the petition, a no vote will be a vote to approve the petition.
Thank you. With that, the clerk can take the roll.
Allen.
Aye.
Auger.
Yes.
Barrero.
Yes.
Dahl.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Franz.
Yes.
Gillum.
Yes.
Hernandez. Hernandez.
Yes.
Bochet.
Yes.
Ishmael.
No.
Kenyon.
Yes.
Verderick.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Molina.
No.
Sanchez.
No.
Sheffro.
Yes.
Silva.
No.
Smith.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Thomas. Wegman.
Yes.
Winnicki.
Yes.
Okay, the motion to deny is approved. Mr. Kazar.
Our next petition, number 2017-0002, is located in Blackberry Township. The petitioner is looking for a major adjustment to existing PUD to allow for a cell tower. There were no objectors to the petition. The zoning board voted to approve or to recommend approval of the petition. The development did the same. I will make the recommendation to approve today.
So moved by Mr. Kazar, second by Mr. Frost. Any thoughts or comments? Mr. Frost.
I'm very familiar with this property. I'm actually a neighbor to it also, but I did bring this up at the Mill Creek SSA meeting. We're most directly affected by this, and nobody had any comments or objections, so I'm supportive.
I did attend the meeting, the preliminary meeting, and if this is too complex a question to answer at this time, either Mr. Frost or Mr. Kazar, how will that cell tower affect the efforts that the county is making for the cell phone amplification?
I don't know that it was effective at all. It's a typical cell phone tower. The current program works that it's a more widespread service area. So the cell phone amp that we're talking about is a more localized area right along the road with some busy intersections.
Take another way to think of that as well as the tower is bringing service to that area, and the amplification is just increasing the service that's already being provided.
Okay, thank you.
Strengthens.
Okay, any other thoughts or comments? If not, clerk, call the roll.
Allen.
Aye.
Auger.
Yes.
Barrero.
Yes.
Dahl.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Franz.
Yes.
Gillum.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Bochet.
Yes.
Ishmael.
Yes.
Kenyon.
Yes.
Verderick.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Molina.
Yes.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Sheffro.
Yes.
Silva.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Wegman.
Yes.
Winnicki.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Mr. Kazar, petition 2017-0224.
Petition is located in Plato Township. The petitioner is looking for rezoning from an F district farming to an F1 district rural residential. The 2040 plan calls for agricultural, which this keeps with. No objectors at this time. Recommendation of the zoning board was approved. The development committee also recommended to approve. I'll make the motion to approve today.
So moved by Mr. Kazar, second by Ms. Winnicki. Is there any comment or question? If not, clerk, call the roll.
Allen.
Aye.
Auger.
Yes.
Barrero.
Yes.
Dahl.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Franz.
Yes.
Gillum.
Yes.
Hernandez. Hershey.
Yes.
Ismail.
Yes.
Kenyon.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Molina.
Yes.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Sheffro.
Yes.
Silva.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Thomas. Absent. Wegman.
Yes.
Winnicki.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Finally, Mr. Kazar, for petition 2017-0267.
Petition is located in Blackberry Township. The petitioner is looking for rezoning from an F district farming to an E3 district estate residential. No objectors to this were reported. The zoning board voted to recommend approval. Development also voted to recommend approval. I'll make a motion to recommend today.
So moved by Mr. Kazar, second by Mr. Frost. Any thoughts or comments? Questions? If not, clerk, call the roll.
Allen.
Aye.
Auger.
Yes.
Barrero.
Yes.
Dahl? Yes. Davis?
Yes.
Frons?
Yes.
Gillen?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Burchard?
Yes.
Ishmael?
Yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Kazari?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Molina? Sanchez?
Yes.
Jeffro?
Yes.
Silva?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Sterrett?
Yes.
Thomas? Wakeman?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, the motion passes. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move on to the consent agenda now. But before I do that, I would just like to thank both Joe McMahon, our state's attorney, and also Jan Cunningham, our county clerk, for attending the board meeting today for their help. On the consent agenda, would anyone want to remove an item from the agenda from that vote? Mr. Sanchez?
Thank you, Chairman. Item 17-177 and 17-178.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Any others? Okay, if not, let's see, may I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda with the exception of 17-177, 178. So moved by Ms. Sterrett, second by Mr. Quazar. Clerk, call the roll.
Allen?
Aye.
Carter?
Yes.
Guerrero?
Yes.
Dahl?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Frons?
Yes.
Gillen?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Bochet?
Yes.
Ishmael?
Yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Kazari?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Molina,
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Jeffro?
Yes.
Silva?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Whitman?
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Now on 17-177, 178, may I have a motion to pass both of those? So moved by Ms. Sterrett, second by Mr. Frost. Comment, Mr. Sanchez.
As some of you may know, I'm opposed to the Long Meadow Parkway project. Really? Yes. Surprisingly. And this is part of my opposition to that project. I know this isn't exactly what's going to make or break anything. It's played out, of course. And I will say, though, with all the budget talk, I would almost suggest promoting the idea that we spend the money that would go to Long Meadow on some of our budget issues. But I know that probably is a big popularity. But otherwise, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Any other thoughts or comments? If not, clerk, call the roll.
Allen?
Aye.
Carter?
Yes.
Guerrero?
Yes.
Dahl?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Frons?
Yes.
Gillen?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Bochet?
Yes.
Ishmael?
Yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Kazari?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Molina,
No.
Sanchez?
No.
Jeffro?
Yes.
Silva?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Sterrett?
Yes.
Whitman?
Yes.
Winnick?
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. That takes care of the consent agenda. Now off consent agenda, may I have a motion and a second to approve resolution 17-182 establishing the Kane County prevailing wages for 2017. So moved by Ms. Allen, second by Ms. Ferrero. Is the discussion? Mr. Frost?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I ask that this item be pulled from the agenda. Once again, I'll be voting no on our annual prevailing wage approvals. This is an outdated 1930s law. 20 states have totally eliminated prevailing wage from their state statutes, and several others have substantially modified it to the benefit of their states and their governmental agencies, but more importantly, their taxpayers. Our neighboring states of Indiana, Michigan, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Missouri have or are in the process of making these changes. With our own tight budget issues, I find it very frustrating that our taxpayers are paying between 10 and 20% premium on our projects in Kane County over what private businesses and residents pay for the same services with no extra value added for those additional costs of 10 to 20%. I know some of the board members question why a symbolic no vote on this would be of value, but it will send a message to our state legislature that this is a concern for us as representatives of taxpayers in Kane County. McHenry County, the city of Batavia, and many other governmental agencies do a symbolic vote no on this, bring it back next month and pass it. I would like to see Kane County think about doing that. Lastly, by using the union scale charts to set prevailing wage, we are choosing the highest possible rates to set for our county projects. Barring repeal of this law by the state, I hope that in the near future, I will bring before you a proposal to conduct our own local prevailing wage survey that will determine the true prevailing wage rate and still stay within the boundaries of the current law. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Frost. Are there other comments? Questions? Mr. Dahl?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wasn't going to speak, but I just wanted to make a clarification from something that my board member threw out. When the survey, when the prevailing wage is set in a municipality, those are surveyed by both non-union and union contractors, and based off those surveys, establishes the prevailing rate. So it's not just the union rate to establish the prevailing rate. Surveys go out to both non-union contractors and union contractors.
Thank you, Mr. Dahl. Are there any other comments, questions? If not, clerk, call the roll.
Allen? Hopper?
No.
Barrera?
Yes.
Dahl?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Franz?
No.
Gillen?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
O'Shea?
Yes.
Ishmael?
Yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Kazari?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Molina?
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Sheffler?
Yes.
Silva?
Yes.
Smith?
No.
Sarah?
No.
Wegman?
Yes.
Wadicki?
No.
The motion passes. Okay, next on the agenda are appointments, and I just asked the board would you like to do this in one motion and second? I'll read off the names. There's no controversy in these, but whatever the will of the board is it all right if I go ahead and do them all together? May I have a motion and a second to approve the appointments to the Regional Transportation Authority, Community Development Commission, Kane Elgin Home Commission, Regional Planning Commission, Historic Preservation Commission, and the Enhanced Finance and Budget Committee. Who would like to move that? So moved by Dr. Silva, second by Mr. Sanchez. The folks in each one of these, Regional Transportation, RTA, is a reappointment of Don DeWitt. Community Development Commission, reappointments of Bill Berman, Kathy Curtis, Dean Hummel, Tom Armstrong, Nancy Brackman, Betsy Penny. Initial appointments are John Skillman, Rick Zerk, Stuart Beach, and Elizabeth Safanda. Kane Elgin Home Commission, reappointments are Lane F. Allen, Tom Hansen, and Sharon Street. Initial appointments are Russ Moorhead, David Ray. Regional Planning Commission, all initial appointments, Tom Armstrong, Joe White, Esther Steele. For the Historic Preservation Committee, it's an initial appointment for David Newkirk. And then, as we've discussed in other committee meetings, Enhanced Finance and Budget Committee, John O'Shea, Susan Starrett, Deborah Allen, Kurt Kazar, Bill Leonard, Doug Shefflo, Penny Wegman, John Martin, Drew Frost, Chris Lawson, Mark Armstrong as a non-voting member, Roger Fonstadt, non-voting, Joe Ponsick, non-voting, and then Terry Hunt and Dave Rickard. There may be a question going into the future for Terry Hunt and Dave Rickard, but those are the people who are appointed to that committee. So are there any questions? If not, the clerk call roll.
Allen? Hopper?
Yes.
Barrera?
Yes.
Dahl?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Franz?
Yes.
Gillen?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
O'Shea?
Yes.
Ishmael?
Yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Kazari?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Molina?
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Sheffler?
Yes.
Silva?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Wegman?
Yes.
Wadicki?
Yes.
The motion passes. May I have a motion, next on the agenda, executive session. May I have a motion and a second to go into executive session to discuss pending litigation, personnel matters, So moved by Mr. Lazar, second by Mr. Dahl. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay.